Wewe, Soila kuchapa utasema
will you say it? Will you come and tell Eddie Soila ni chapa? Okay, you tell Eddie, no, you tell Eddie. Oh, you say we
are playing. Mkono yake ika slide. Hey guys, welcome to our channel.
Let's do it. No, don't do that.
That's too enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so we're gonna talk about how guys are dying.
What's
up, guys?
Yeah.
So in as much as we started on a high note, we just wanted to talk about this whole, is it an epidemic yet, Tama? This whole epidemic of femicide. Yeah, and as some people thought, femicide it's not some type of insecticide. It's not some type of medicine for cleaning interesting places of the body where the sun don't shine.
Not our words, by the way. That's not us who thought about that. I don't know who said that.
Yeah, so it's basically I don't know, I'm trying to use very light language, but I think I'll just speak what comes to my mind. It's the murder of women. I'm not sure if it's the murder of women by men, but I know it's the murder of women somehow. And I think if you live in Kenya, definitely you've been watching the news and you've been seeing how there's a lot of women who have just been, ending up dead in very unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah.
Some by sponsors, some by boyfriends, some by husbands, and some by random or strange people in their lives who we are not really sure, because when you're watching the news you don't really know the full information. And we just wanted to, as young married people of our generation, we just wanted to share what we feel about the whole thing. Isikwe that we are so detached because it's not happening to people who are connected to us. Because at the end of the day, as men, Eddie and I, we have wives whom we love. So when we hear that there are husbands who are killing their wives out there, it's really a concern. So I don't know, as ladies, what do you guys feel when you see such news? Especially when you look at the reasons about why femicide is happening. A slay queen was bought for gifts and then she didn't reciprocate the love, and the guy felt he has the right to take her life.
For me, I feel bad. If anything, I feel a bit saddened by such things. These are men killing women. I'm like, there's something wrong with men. Not with all men, with those specific men. Or probably the boy child is going through something that now it's coming out in society. They're now responding in a certain way where women are concerned, where relationship is concerned, I don't know if it's an esteem issue, I don't know.
I don't know. I think I feel like it's an ego issue. But it's been there before. Like, there are many men who've been rejected. You'd spoil a chick, you buy her, you take her for dinner, and then say, hey, by the way, I think it's like the classic friend zoning that's just gone crazy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because from the stories I've read, I'm like, okay, most of these guys, either your friends or even your wife. Especially for the wife one, I don't understand, because
it's somebody you live with.
It's someone you live with. Like, there are so many things that I do that piss off Eddie and annoy him. Sometimes I do it just because it's fun.
Yeah. But
then, like, for you to think, let me kill this person, I think it's
a bit extreme.
It's extreme and it's sad.
Yeah. Now, whenever you look at social media, because the real drama is usually in the comment section, not even the video or the article that has been posted. You get to hear some opinions that some of the some of the commenters share. And it's a bit concerning, because you'd hear some guy saying, this chick did so and so, she kinda deserved it. You understand? She kinda deserved that kind of reaction from the dude because she behaved in a certain way. I don't know what you feel about that, Eddie. If she doesn't respond the way you'd like, do you feel like
Do you resolve to death?
Do you
To
decide
kill?
that it's your place to decide whether she lives?
If I refuse to make you pancakes.
No. You see, I think that a scenario like that where someone is taking the life of somebody else, it's like, you see, this guy, like the story that you're giving is that the person gave something to a chick, and he had this humongous expectation of something in return. So now that was not achieved. So in my opinion, this guy was not doing this thing for the chick out of love. It's not out of a genuine desire.
It was an investment.
Yes, in fact, that's the word.
with expected return.
But that is the word. And I don't think, no, let me say this. It's become a popular thought process that I do to you so that I get something in return. And it's sad to see that our men nowadays, or many men, not all of them, like they said, and I'm not one of them, by the way, many men have this mentality that, one, they are over women, in that they are more senior in authority and placement, and that they have this way of controlling women. And I don't think that is how God intended it, if I'm completely honest. That's not how God intended it. So what has been going around amongst the men is this bravado, mini mwanaume, I need to prove it. And you see, when a woman comes and tests this manhood, the result is now I need to take my place, my manhood. And it's unfortunate that this has taken the form of someone actually losing their lives.
Is there a chance that this is not just something that is happening out of the blues? Like there's a culture that has been promoting it in our culture, in our society, way back 10, 20 years, just the way we've been brought up as men. It's like there's a culture yenye tumekuwa tukilelewa, and now it's beginning to show up.
It started with like beating women. There was that like bibi yako if respect, like chapa the woman, you know. That's how, and it was acceptable. I think it was.
Kumlainisha.
Yeah, namlainisha
Like if your husband then chapa you akupendi.
Akupendi.
And you know, I was shocked. There are actually women who believe that.
Yeah.
And they expect you to beat them. I saw that interview on some, and it was this show. It was this 10 over 10. And most of the guys who attend 10 over 10 are young people, 18, you know, below 25. So this chick was around 20, 21. And she was already living with this guy. And she was saying that she believes the guy has to beat her up so that she feels, okay, now he has expressed love to me. To the point that if the guy doesn't show that kind of reaction towards her, and I feel, this guy is not really serious with me.
Like someone like that, I'd say it's how you probably saw it growing up, so it's a norm.
It's a normal thing.
But I think even with women evolving and there's all the empowerment movements and women can now, we now have a voice and it's recognized. I think that's where it started. Yeah. But I think there's also a balance where you need to be honest with the person and just tell them, hey, by the way, thanks for the gift, but I hope there's no ulterior motives, because maybe that's a conversation that's not happening. And if it has, and the guy keeps buying gifts, then even you need to start thinking of how to either cut the person off.
I think, I don't know, for me, I have one question. Is it, can you predict, like you see how you say you can follow a pattern? Like if a woman or a man beats you up, or how they respond to you when you make small mistakes in the house or in your relationship, is there a possibility of knowing, like literally, Red flags that Eddie can kill me at one point?
I think those ones,
I know.
I believe.
I know.
I believe red flags you'll always know. Because before Eddie, there are people who are dates and you'd tell someone is, like if someone has a really bad temper.
Okay, the temper issue, yeah.
Because you can always tell. Like if you're talking, let's say someone pisses them off and then you see someone's hand shaking, you're like, hey, that's a red flag. And it's important to ask yourself, well, this is how he is, and let's say he's not going for therapy and whatever. Is this someone I want to live with? So what happens when I push him against a wall?
You know, to sort of answer your question, I think murder or killing someone is the action. There has to be underlying symptoms that lead up to that action. In my opinion, there would be things like bitterness, harboring extreme bitterness for whatsoever reason. And sometimes it's never about the actual person. It can be bitterness from
Something
way
that
back
happened,
when. It can be bitterness from an absentee father or mother. It can be bitterness against siblings, even previous relationships that now culminate in this one particular action. That's just one side. They can have, like Emery says, the anger issues that are undealt with. You know, there are people that are very good at burying stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They take it in and they don't have, and for lack of a better word, a way of expressing or relieving themselves in a positive way. Because relieving take two. Because relieving themselves needs to be in a positive way. The opposite is relieving themselves by killing. You get? Because you can actually channel all this anger into some form of positivity and learning how to deal with it. And she mentioned something like therapy. There has to be a way and a means to deal with these things. So flags, as a person on the outside trying to understand what a guy or a lady is going through, it's not something that you will catch in the first day, of course.
No.
But it's things that you will see. Is there bitterness from way beyond your time? Is there anger that goes on longer than it should be? And longer than it should be can be anything from a few hours to a few weeks to a few months. Those are some of the things that you can begin to look at. I'm not a therapist, this is just opinion.
People change. People have the ability to change. So even as you're saying therapy and all that, it's actually possible. People who have those issues can change. But I think women need also to understand that it's not their place to change the person.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of women get into these things with unrealistic hope. That perhaps I can be a Jesus to this person and save them, which is a lie. The only person who can play Jesus perfectly is Jesus. As for you,
hallelujah,
you can help them from a distance. You don't have to be in their life, because unachapwa, I'll help them. Unachapwa ya pili, I'll help them. Next time unakatwa mkono, I'll help them. Before we know it, you are gone.
For example, I'm sorry to bring this up, the Wangeshi story. I'm really, for the family and everybody who was affected, really sorry to remind you again of that incident, because it's like they were done with that relationship. And this guy traveled all the way from Thika to Eldoret to go murder the woman who wasn't even aware that this guy is around town.
That was
you see, that was from from a distance. Literally, she had detached herself from that relationship from the guy. How then do you protect yourself as a woman or as a man? Because I mean, it's both sides. There is homicide and there's femicide. Because also women can go ahead and kill men because of relationship issues. How then do you draw the boundary, or how do you protect yourself in such a scenario where I have forgotten about Curtis? I know he has a mental condition, or he'd act in a certain way because of his tempers. I'd want to be separated from you, but you don't want to be separated from me. Even if I break the relationship, you still follow up with me. You start the stalking mode, and then one day you just find me in a dark corner and you do bad things to me, you know? How do I protect myself from that? It's hard.
I think it reaches a point it has to be now a police issue. I know police can't really solve everything 100%, but
it helps.
Just go to the cops. Let the cop call the guy. Ajue, this thing is now being observed from that level.
I think so. And I know, especially in abusive relationships, the biggest issue is the shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's-
don't know.
there's a shame.
Ladies are usually ashamed of.
Wewe, so like ukichapa utasema
Will you say it? Will you come and tell Eddie Soila ni chapa?
I'll
Okay,
say-
you
I'll
tell
say- I'll
Eddie,
say we
no,
were
you
playing.
tell Eddie. Oh, you say we are playing.
we were playing. Mkono yake ika slide. But on a serious
but it's on a serious
I
note.
get
It's,
what you're saying, actually.
it's there's a lot of shame that comes with that. One, you're like, this person who I love has raised their hand and hit me, not once, not twice. And there are those guys who always, they're the I'll change people, and
Yeah.
there are those people who can literally say it's your fault.
Do you think social media makes the pressure more?
Exactly, that's what I want to
Because
say.
imagine you've been sharing photos, how you and your
Yes,
boom and I
yeah.
enjoy, and then now all of a sudden now it's physical, it's violent. How do you go again and start telling people, it's not as perfect as I tried to?
I think
You
the
know.
only way to solve this, and it's something Soila and I talk about all the time, paint both pictures. You don't have to go on social media and say, hey Leo, Eddie talked to me badly.
No.
But it's important to say that, stuff like, let's say marriage is not a bed of roses. We don't agree all the time.
Yeah.
But if you try and create the picture that you're the
Perfect.
perfect couple, because if you don't let people, especially your closest inner circle, in, then how are you even going to go to the cops?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would like to know, is there a way that women need to carry themselves such that they don't provoke the person to that? You understand? I hope you get what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they deserve that kind
They
of
don't,
reaction.
yeah.
But also they have a place to play whereby they don't push somebody to that limit. Because may I believe something. It's one thing to know your rights, but it's another thing to also have wisdom. It's my right as a Kenyan citizen to walk in
Freely.
the city of Nairobi freely the way I want. But wisdom tells me that not everybody thinks like me. There are certain corners in Tao when I walk at night, something bad might happen to me.
Yeah.
And if it happens to me, at the end of the day, I'm the one to lose no matter how many rights I have. You understand? So there's the place where you have rights, you are free, you have good motives, but you live in a society that is not perfect.
Yeah.
And not everybody thinks the way you think. Not everybody is as civilized as you. So as women, I don't know, knowing that this is the kind of world that we live in, what would you suggest or recommend that women should carry themselves in just to avoid certain situations?
What I'd say for me, first of all, if you're in a relationship, it's good to have an accountability couple or friends. Like, and easily, like, for example, let's say we were dating, you're not married. There's some characteristics that you have, like the violence. It's easy for me to approach Emery and
For
tell
example,
her,
eh?
yeah, for example, yeah. I can approach Emery, and also Emery, since we are good friends and we are accountable, she can actually tell me, I could have chosen about Curtis, that I don't know how you guys handle it. I can see that he's like this and like that. And I think it's good if you operate in this manner. Sometimes I'm blind. They say that I don't believe love is blind, as people say. But there are things that I'm blind to because I love you. Or I just want to ignore,
just say
overlook
it's
them
okay.
because,
Yeah.
yeah, I say it's okay.
I think women always see,
But we just
but
overlook them.
yeah, you
Yeah.
just want to assume, no, I'm seeing my own thing.
Exactly, that
Yeah.
don't say you're seeing your own things.
Yeah.
It's very important as ladies to have our lady friends that you go to when you have some of these things. Like when you consider, if you have thought of something, we say women have the sixth sense.
Yeah.
If your sixth sense says there's something wrong with my partner, I'd rather go to Ems and tell her, there's something wrong with Curtis, I do not know how to go about it, what would you advise?
Yeah.
Two heads are better than one, always. And like just me keeping it to myself. And then when things go wrong, I mean, she'll be left here wondering, I thought we were friends. As in just being transparent and having accountability partners to speak about the things that we go through in relationships, because you're not an island. Your relationship is not the only one in this world, imagine.
Yeah.
We all have each other. Even in marriage, literally, the things myself and Curtis can't handle. We go to a pastor, we go to our friends and meet up and talk. Forget this social media inboxing manenos. Create quality time with people, let's meet up, let's do a sleepover and enjoy. That's where now people get to open up and talk about the things that they're going through.
Yeah.
Social media is so superficial. I can only go as far when texting. Credit yangu itaisha, bundle itaisha, stima itapotea, and tumeachia hapo. And then tomorrow again, I think I shouldn't have mentioned it to Ems, you know.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have, something tells you. But if you're in a place of physical meeting, I can speak about it and she'll probe me further. What do we do? If you have sober friends, it's good to ask, get
That's
sober
the
friends.
key.
Yes,
Sober friends.
Not all friends.
Not chofu, not
Yeah.
not a kamkunji for chochanai.
Fantastic, yes.
It has to be very sober wisdom.
Yeah.
And they need to consider that whatever advice that they will give will impact that very relationship,
Exactly.
whether positively
Or
or negatively. So whatever that conversation looks like, it needs to consider end to end. That's
Yeah.
my
And-
point on that.
And sober friends don't take sides.
Yeah.
Yes,
Eh,
They're
kama ni wewe uko na
neutral. Needs to
ujinga
be
atakwambia by
impartial.
the way hapa ni wewe uko na
It
ujinga.
needs to be impartial.
Yeah.
Like
So-
example, if I respond negatively to my husband, I provoke you.
Yes.
And I provoke you to be now violent to me. If let's say you do a mistake and then the way I'm talking to you, my communication towards you is disrespectful. I mean, men love to be obeyed and respected. There's a way if I talk to him negatively, there's a way he'll automatically or naturally respond. Because he sees, anyway, this man, Bibi or this girlfriend, he's carrying me babies, you know.
Na kubeba utoto.
Remember utoto? Yeah, and his ego won't allow him
Yeah.
to just let it under the carpet. No. So there's also, as ladies, there's that place of ensuring that we treat our men right. How we communicate to them respectfully. Respect each other. Respectfully, you communicate to them respectfully, even if he's done the wrong thing. Just communicate. Forget pride, forget ego. With the relationship, none of those two things will take you far. Trust me, if you want to be in a relationship, humility is the first thing. Ends.
If I'm irritated with Eddie and he wants to talk, I'll probably, by the way, nakunywa maji. I just drink water. I'll take something, I'll drink it. Because if I'm drinking, I won't say something stupid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And when I'm done, I'm like, you know what? Let's shelf this. We can talk about it a bit later.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you just need to be sober-minded when you're discussing issues. If you're single and there's that guy who likes you, I believe in honesty. One, being honest with yourself. Because you always know whether you like someone or not. Before, I knew, the guys who I knew I'd never date. And so yeah, you take them on a ride. Just, you know, because you want free things. Who doesn't like free things? Who doesn't like being spoiled?
This was before Christ, by the way. Eh?
Thanks, babe.
Before Christ. Christ came
BC.
and turned it around.
This is BC.
Yeah. Now she
After-
80.
After I learned, I was honest with myself. I'm like, what do I want in life? If you're not going where I'm going, there's no need for us to just keep going.
Okay, so that's more or less how the ladies feel. So I'm going to sort of have the inverse of Curtis's question. What can the ladies do to sort of ensure that we don't get to that point?
Ladies don't. Men.
No, me, I asked what can the ladies do?
Yeah, what can the
Yeah.
ladies
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
So now it's us talking to the men. And
What can we men?
Yes.
What
Yeah?
can we men?
Not women. What can we
men.
men?
Actually, does that mean philosophically that women are many men?
No. So
Because if it's men, it's men. But if there are many, it's we men. So women are the plural. Anyway.
blue what?
Continue.
Okay, so the men. There's something that the late Dr. Miles Monroe said that I found very profound when he was talking about how women are incubators, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Like women are very good at and please don't take this the wrong way, but women are very good at receiving, keeping it, and then reproducing. They're extremely good at that.
Multiplying.
At multiplying, yes, that was actually the word, at multiplying. So he gave an example where a man who's the hunter, essentially, brings in, shopping for food. The woman receives it, turns it into a meal, and gives it back to the man.
Yeah.
Even in pregnancy, where a man
Drops a seed.
drops a seed, the woman takes it, multiplies it, and gives a child. You know what I mean? So, in this context of femicide, we're looking at where a man's anger has been kindled by a woman who's pushing his buttons. But allow me to provoke the men and say, she just didn't push your buttons for no reason. There is most likely something that you planted as a seed. She took it,
She's now
multiplied
giving it
it,
back,
and gave it back. So here I'm calling for a sense of self-awareness in the men. What is it that you are giving to your women? Have that self-awareness in you. Be self-aware. How am I speaking to her? How am I carrying her? Hey, carry. Where? Nambebaji.
That's the environment of your relationship.
But what
Fanya hivi, I told Soila this, I will tell you. Go back to school. Get your school fees back. You are played.
hashtag Breban.
This guy said kata in corner. How you cut a corner?
It's true.
You cut corners.
Take a corner, I mean.
Oh, beating corner. Lichapa corner.
Pia wewe ndio uchukue school fees.
Women have the sixth sense, and they will be able to know if the intention behind what you are giving her is authentic. And what will happen is, if she knows that it's authentic, she will respond in love or in kind, that in a way that is also very genuine and authentic, and that can only be beneficial to the relationship.
That's true. I agree.
Happy Kenya, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're pursuing a woman or a man, what are you pursuing them? If it's not for relationship or for marriage.
Yeah.
So, understand yourself, self-awareness. We've said so many things, like many. So just take all of it home, go think about it. Yes. So
When in doubt, kunywa maji.
Kunywa maji, alafu, if you like what this guy said, inbox the guy and ask him questions.
Please.
You like what this woman said?
If you're a woman, inbox me.
And let her know.
If you're a man, inbox him.
Yeah, inbox him. I will tag their social media handles. Profound people. Sijui anajifichanga tu hapi ya watu. But I can't wait for you guys.
Akonyeri.
They're trying to be humble.
Habo
They're
here.
trying to be humble.
And then
Akonyeri.
Akonyeri. Cut.
Alright, bye guys.
Fly making it.